Alright folks, four-wheeler doctor here again. We're on the second project of the night. There's a lot of these videos out there, but figured I'd make one since I had it in here. This is one of those little Chinese made 110cc ATVs. You see a ton of these around. I work on quite a few of them. They're really not hard to work on. Parts are very, very inexpensive for them. They're not the highest quality by no means, but a lot of people have these and a lot of people have problems with them. So I just wanted to go through and show you what I run into on these a lot of times. I don't have a clue what's wrong with this bike other than it won't run. So I'm going to just start from the beginning to see. I am sure that the battery's dead because I switched it on and none of the lights come on. This one here has got two lights here. They're actually been painted over, but somebody scratched it off so you can see. So I'm going to hit the charger here and see if we can get some power to the thing. And it actually does switch on just like that, and see if it'll turn over. I think you might have a dead spot in the ignition switch because the light clicks on and off. But set the handbrake, hit the start button. Okay, it will turn over. That's a good thing. Alright, next thing I like to try to do is check and make sure you're getting fire. And I'm going to pull the plug out of this. It's another good thing to check. There's a good chance this hadn't been run in quite a while. So I'm going to, I'll pull the plug out if it's getting fire. Because I know how the gas is in a lot of these things, is a good chance that the gas is set up and gum the carburetor up. The idle jet on these things are super small. You can barely even see through the hole, so it takes very little to clog those up, and that will let the thing not idle. Plug, pretty black. So what I'll do is stick it back in the coil wire, lay it on the head there, turn it around so I can see it, and then hit the start button again. Let's look to see if you can see a spark there. Got a good spark. So next thing to do would be to check the gas in it. Cut this charger off because I'm going to end up having to put a battery in this thing. This is one that came over and ended up working on this, and two of these actually, and two dirt bikes. I'm about to put another video up on it for a dirt bike. It does have some gas in it, so might turn this thing on and see if the gas is on or off. It's actually on. So what I may do next, because I don't have a clue how long it's been since this thing's run. The carburetor actually looks pretty clean in it. I'm gonna, or at least the outside of it. I can't tell what the inside looks like. But I'm gonna take and pop this drain screw out on the carburetor here, right here, and see if I can drain some gas out. Should have gas running out of this tube here if the float is not hung up. And we got gas coming out. Guys, if this thing cranks up, when I turn it over here and cut the choke on, I'm going to apologize because this is going to be a whole lot simpler than I planned on it being. So let me stick this spark plug back in there, cut the choke on, and I'm going to see if I can get this thing to crank up. Let me cut the camera back on in a sec. Alright, I got the spark plug put in. I did check the oil in it. It's got some oil. Cut the charger back on. We got the green light for the neutral, and then the choke on this one is a how does it work? It actually acts like it's got a pull choke. Nope, it's got a lever right here for the choke. Not sure whether that's up or down, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Crunk up. Got a pretty bad tick to it. You probably could use a good valve adjustment. I might give that a shot next. Alright guys, got this thing stood up on the end. This is about the easiest way to adjust the valves on one. What you need to do is take these two caps off. See it right there. 17mm head on there, and same from the top, and that'll expose the valves. And you also need to pull the timing covers off, I guess you'd call that. It's this hole in the center here, and then there's one in the top right here, and that will let you tell which are top dead center and rotate the crankshaft. So I'm gonna get these top caps off here. Just got a wrench on there to spin them off, and then we'll get it. I'll take these covers off here. You just need a big screwdriver in there. Turn it with an adjustable wrench, and I'll get those pulled off, and I'll cut the camera right back on before I set it to top dead center. Well guys, before I even set this thing to top dead center, I found the problem. Got the valve cover loose here, and listen to the play in the valve. You can see it. Maybe you can see it wobbling up and down there. And what the issue is, the dang nut that locks that adjuster in. See the nut that's on. This dang light's so bright you can't really see. There you go. The nut that's on there that you normally loosen up has come off. And actually, it's right here in the bottom. Let me grab a magnet. I don't believe I can pull it right out of there. So I don't know if somebody adjusted the valves on this and didn't tighten the nut back up. There it is. That nut come off, and so the valve, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust them, but that top one is way out of adjustment. I mean, it's got a 1/4 inch of gap in it, and I don't even have it at top dead center. I can't believe it'll even crank, but it will. So let me get it top dead center, and then we'll figure out what we got to do about the keeper here. All right guys, so I've got the inspection or the crank cover off here, as well as the hole up here to tell whether it's the top dead center. Put a 14mm socket on here. I'm going to rotate it around. What you want to do is watch for that intake valve right there to go up and down. There it goes down. So that means you're on the compression stroke now. And what you want to do is start looking in this top here for a tick mark. I'm going to grab my other flashlight because that one there is so bright. Let me find it. I'll cut the camera right back on. Okay, so I got the little bit dimmer flashlight here. Rotate this thing around. It actually rotates counterclockwise. So I'm looking for some type of tick mark. There's 1, 2 tick marks. And then that one set an F, so that's when it fires. And this next tick mark has a T beside it. It's a tick mark with a little circle on it. I don't know if many of these Chinese things are similar or not, but there's a line right in the center of that hole. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but you might just have to take my word for it. So that should be at top dead center. And normally, when you're at top dead center, both your intake and your exhaust valve have a little bit of play in them. You got a little bit in the exhaust, and naturally the intake's got a ton in it because it was missing that nut. So let me get those tightened up. The range on these is a good bit. It's like from .005 to .009. I'm gonna try to kind of split the difference, hit something in between there. Probably gonna go I don't think I have a 7, so we're gonna go 8 on them and see what they do. And so you break that little lock nut loose. It's I think it's 8mm in this case, and it's got like a square head on the adjuster screw. And what I usually use for that, I'm not sure if this is gonna be the right size or not, but I'll give it a shot. And I can't find it. Let me cut the camera back on as soon as I find my adjuster. Alright guys, I got my adjuster. I told you wrong on these. There again, these Chinese bikes, you just never know. This nut here that you have to break loose is a 9mm. That's about as odd as they come. So you break that nut loose, and the actual thing that you spin to adjust the timing on it, run it in and out, is a square head. And there's probably a tool made for this thing, but I never bought one. So I found the best thing to use is a deck screw. These square drive deck screws, and I just took one and bent it so I can twist it as I need to. That works on a lot of different things. ATVs, dirt bikes, all kinds of stuff. It's just that normal old square shank for running in decks. Works perfect. So what I'm gonna do is break that nut loose and tighten these things down until they got just a little resistance on the filler gauge, and then we'll button it back up and see what it sounds like. It's got to be better than it was, because this thing had 1/4 of an inch of clearance where it should have had, 7 thousandths in clearance. So let me get these adjusted out, and I'll cut the camera back on in just a sec. Alright guys, got everything buttoned back up. The timing cover holes, the valve cover holes back on, and these timing cover crank bolt and the actual adjuster there. Got it switched on. Turn on the brake. Let's see what it'll do. Actually, let me cut the gas on too. That was one thing I didn't add earlier. If you stand them up on the end, you need to turn the gas off on them, because it'll drain gas out the air filter. Getting a good connection there on our charger. Need to idle this thing up just a little bit or something. Low idle, which I think they do that. That's the cam chain. Probably could idle it up just a little bit and get rid of some of that. There you go. Sorry, this video wasn't a little more eventful than I thought it was going to be, but you never know when you get these things in is what it's going to be. Sometimes it won't fire, sometimes the carburetor's clogged up, sometimes the valve adjuster nut falls off into the cylinder head, and you have to go find it. So anyway, that's how I fix this little rascal. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe. I'll probably get a few more of these things in, because they always seem to come in, especially around Christmas time. So I'll probably be posting a couple more videos on these, because I know a lot of people have them. So, alright, y'all have a good night.